Does anybody know what chapter of this history textbook we're on? Good afternoon, party people. It's your girl Yael, aka Blue River, and this is your news with a view. Up first, corporate America ups the ante. It's right after a weekend of black spot shenanigans from social media. Corporate America has hopped on the ban Donald Trump train. In retrospect, they're really only doing it because it's bad for business. Marriott Hotels and several other corporate sponsors are cutting funding to him as well as his GOP cronies. And America's widest sports association, the PGA, has decided that Trump locations will no longer be used for their tournaments. Destroyed democracy, they destroy his money. I'm okay with it. Up next, dude, where's my followers? Apparently, conspiracy theorists and conservatives alike are complaining about the loss of followers on Twitter. Lost followers during Black Lives Matter. You don't see me complaining. Tender snowflakes are complaining they're losing followers in droves. Several people have actually brought up a really great point about the fact that they're more concerned about the loss of followers than the loss of lives during COVID, among other things. Says a whole lot about this people. None of them have yet to figure out that their scattergory conspiracy is largely because of the fact that most of their followers have left Twitter after the exile of the Cheeto. These people don't think. Up last, the House makes good on its word. Hooray. That's right, they went ahead and pushed through the articles of impeachment for President Donald J. Trump again. Sources say that they're pushing this time to make sure he's removed from public office. That he won't be able to hold public office again. Kind of like they should have did the first time. All jokes and shenanigans aside, you'll have to forgive my low energy output today. Living through the last year's worth of historical events honestly takes its toll, especially when considering the fact that I'm millennial and I've already seen my fair share of crises. The thing that concerns me most about the events that have taken place inside of the last week is that GOP conservatives are still holding to this idea that they're patriots. They still don't see what's wrong with their actions, which means white supremacy is literally on par with insanity. Some black and brown people have been saying for years. But it's an entirely different thing when you actually get to see it firsthand. Fortunately, they are going to the airports and picking up a lot of these insurrectionists. But a lot of elected officials are still holding office. I don't think any of them are going to get impeached. And the most mind-boggling part of all of this, it's been entirely preventable. The FBI had long ago issued a warning about white supremacists holding important offices and being in law enforcement. Nobody listened then. Black and brown people have been saying this shit for the longest time. Y'all still didn't listen. And even after the Capitol was attacked by a deranged band of lunatics who took it upon themselves to smear shit and piss on a government building, they still not gonna listen. Right now, rumors of another planned attack are going and floating about from those patriots. Apparently, they're supposed to be heading back to DC on the 16th and 17th to install their chosen leader. I read a lot of dystopian fiction as a kid, and I swore up and down that somebody had to have said something when these dystopian governments took over. But now I see it's not reason that allowed a lot of these things to come to pass. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the emotional manipulation of one particular party and telling them that they're superior to everyone else because of a way that they were born, preying on their miseducation, feeding them just enough lies, and setting them loose on the general public. It tore the country apart back in the Civil War. And with these dudes, the descendants of the last ones that did this shit, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again. So when they look through the history textbooks and wonder, why didn't anyone stop it? Honestly, as someone living through it, I'm asking the same fucking thing. I just like a boring week for once. I get the bulk of my news from TMZ, Twitter feeds, CNN, and a couple of other places. But if you see something you want me to cover, don't be shy, tag me in.